Welcome back to another episode of No Shame with Shane for all your shameless sports takes. I'm your host, Shane Fordham. Gonna jump right into it today. Yesterday, ESPN released their top 10 quarterbacks list, which includes Patrick Mahomes at number 1, of course, Joe Burrow at 2, Josh Allen at 3, Lamar Jackson at 4, Matt Stafford at 5, Justin Herbert at 6, Stroud at 7, Aaron Rodgers at 8, Jared Goff at 9, and Dak Prescott at 10. Now, there's a lot of things wrong with this list, but what bothers me the most is Jalen Hurts not being on it. Now, these experts and execs or whoever, they not only said that Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback in the league, but that he's not even a top 3 quarterback in the NFC, not even in the conference. Now, I want to put this as simply as I can. Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. If you're looking at these other top 5 quarterbacks in this group, Jalen Hurts is a better playoff performer than everyone in this group except for Mahomes. You're looking at Lamar. You know, Lamar has his 2 MVPs. I respect that. But he only has 2 playoff wins separated by 3 years. One of those L's came from Ryan Tannehill. Joe Burrow, one of the best clutch players in the league, best clutch quarterbacks in the league, got to a Super Bowl in his second year starting, but got outplayed by Matt Stafford. Didn't crack 300 yards, only had 1 touchdown, lost the game. Then Matt Stafford also didn't crack 300 yards, had 3 touchdowns, but he had 2 turnovers in that game. And he got his ring, but the Rams didn't win the Super Bowl because of Matt Stafford. The Rams won the Super Bowl because of Super Bowl MVP Cooper Kupp racking up close to 100 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, and because of the Rams defense holding Burrow and company, one of the most explosive offenses in the league at that time and now, to only 2 touchdowns and held them to 2 field goals. That's why the Rams won. Matt Stafford did not win the Super Bowl for the Rams. Jalen Hurts would have won the Super Bowl for the Eagles. 304 passing yards, 70 rushing yards, 4 total touchdowns. He really could have won the game for the Eagles if not for a pass interference call on James Bradbury that ended up closing the game. If Jalen Hurts gets the ball back, gets 1 more drive in the Super Bowl, if we don't get called for that penalty, Jalen Hurts takes it down to the opposite end and scores the winning touchdown. Jalen Hurts would have – are you seeing the difference? Jalen Hurts would have won the Eagles the Super Bowl. The Rams won in spite of Matt Stafford's turnovers. Joe Burrow couldn't play well enough to win it for the Bengals. Lamar Jackson just got to his first AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, but was really a deer in headlights for most of that game. So not only is Jalen Hurts getting disrespected as not being a top 10 quarterback, he's not seen as a top 3 quarterback in the NFC. Now, the fact that it's even arguable, say what you want, the fact that it's even arguable that Jalen Hurts could be in this top 5 group means that at the very least, he should be included in the top 10. There is no way that there are 3 quarterbacks in the NFC alone better than Jalen Hurts. There is no quarterback in the NFC that is better than Jalen Hurts, especially Dak Prescott. I know you all saw what Cam Newton, legend MVP quarterback, had to say about the Hurts versus Dak Prescott debate.
Right. I want you to see who Dak compares to in real time with real stats in the NFL. 3, 2, 1, reveal. What's up?
Is that real? If you got the same stat line as Patrick Mahomes, something is clicking in big games.
Something well.
Because I'm looking at this list too. The top 10 goes as follows.
It's only one of them that have a Super Bowl.
It's only one guy that has a Super Bowl, and there's a lot of guys on here that doesn't have a lot of playoff success.
Yeah.
So if you're going to sit up here and judge Dak Prescott on playoff success, and I'm looking at a list of guys that don't even have no playoff experience or not even a playoff win, come on.
What are we doing?
I would prefer Dak Prescott over Kirk Cousins. Kyler Murray, I prefer Dak over Kyler Murray. Jalen Hurts, I prefer Dak over Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
So it ain't that what I think Dak to be. It's what the market dictates Dak to be. And Dak is better than half of the guys on this list.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott being better than Jalen Hurts is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard. With playing 6 more seasons than Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott has the same amount of playoff wins as Hurts. Only 2 playoff wins. 2 playoff wins that do not include a divisional round. Dak Prescott has never been to an NFC championship game. He's never been. Jalen Hurts has done more than Dak Prescott with less years played. He's not only been to an NFC championship game, he's been to a Super Bowl. Excluding winning from the argument between Dak Prescott and Jalen Hurts is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Since when does winning not matter for quarterbacks? If a team struggles winning, there are 2 jobs and roles that get blamed the most: coaches and quarterbacks. So if a team can't win, the quarterback can get blamed for them not winning. But if the team does win, the quarterback doesn't get praise. If a quarterback is going to get the blame for losses, then he should also get the praise for winning. Now, I understand winning is a team goal, team objective, team effort. But there's only one position on the field that touches the ball every snap of every down. Every snap, every down, every play. And that's the quarterback. Jalen Hurts is a winner. He is more of a winner than Dak Prescott. To exclude winning from the argument is idiotic. Like, winning is what sets quarterbacks apart. Like, Tom Brady is the GOAT because he is the best winner. Winning is what makes Tom Brady the GOAT. He wasn't more talented than Peyton Manning. He wasn't more talented than Drew Brees, than Ben Roethlisberger, than even Phillip Rivers. Most certainly wasn't more talented than Aaron Rodgers. But what set Tom Brady apart were his championships, his wins, his rings. If we're taking winning out of the equation, we're basically just discussing talent. Like what are we talking about here? If we take away Patrick Mahomes' wins, then we're basically saying that Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are on the same level. Because Josh Allen is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. Aaron Rodgers is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league. But to exclude wins from the equation, it defeats the purpose of what a quarterback's job is. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in today's game, is runner-up for GOAT because of his ability to win and close out games, his clutch factor. Jalen Hurts is a better winner than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is more likely to lose you a game than to win you a game. Dak Prescott has been the reason that the Cowboys have lost games more than he has been the reason that they have won games. Jalen Hurts, he is more likely to win you a game before he will lose you a game. His stats go up when he is behind or trailing. He's a better clutch player than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott stats don't increase when he is behind. Dak Prescott stats increase when the Cowboys have a sustainable lead that the defense also helped them to get. When the defense gets 2 or 3 takeaways in a game, or run back 1 or 2 pick sixes in a game, when they're putting up points or historic numbers in a game, that is when Dak Prescott's numbers increase. He pads his stats during the garbage minutes of games, which then, because it looks pretty, now makes Cowboys fans think that he is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts. If you are trying to win a game, if you're in the playoffs, trying to chase for a Super Bowl, if you would rather Dak Prescott on your team than Jalen Hurts, you don't know ball. You don't watch the game. You don't watch film. There is no way that a winning team would take Dak Prescott over Jalen Hurts. There's just no way. If you're excluding the only way Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts is if you exclude winning. That's the only way. Excluding winning is Cowboys' attempt at leveling the playing field. That's the only thing Cowboys can do, because we have to acknowledge the 4,000-yard passing seasons from Dak Prescott, but we have to ignore the historic Super Bowl performance from Jalen Hurts, his MVP caliber year from Jalen Hurts, the best player on the best team last year in Jalen Hurts. I would rather 3,000 passing yards that would get me to a Super Bowl than 4,000 passing yards that would get me a first-round exit. That's what you have in Dak Prescott. That's what we're comparing right now. We're comparing 4,000 yards that'll bounce us out in the first round as compared to 3,000 yards with also 700 yards rushing that'll get me to a Super Bowl. What are we talking about right now? Like, what are we discussing? To exclude winning from a comparison between quarterbacks is contradictory and idiotic to all of the great debates that we as football fans have had in the past between Tom Brady and Joe Montana. Tom Brady couldn't be considered the GOAT until he was able to get more rings than Joe Montana. We're doing that now with Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes, to some, is already the GOAT in football, but is not unanimously the GOAT because he doesn't have as many rings as Tom Brady. Really hasn't even had a successful dynasty yet as compared to Tom Brady. So to exclude winning from the argument makes no sense. Winning is the most important stat for a quarterback. And to folks who are saying otherwise, they don't know football. They don't know football. Dak Prescott is a good quarterback. I could see him being top 10 in the league. Definitely top 3 in the NFC. Actually, that's arguable too. It's arguable that Dak Prescott is even top 5 in the conference. But you want to put Dak Prescott top 10 in the league over Jalen Hurts. You know, I'm actually glad that Jalen Hurts is getting disrespected right now, because I know that Jalen Hurts plays his best football when he's counted out. And it honestly makes me more excited as an Eagles fan. We already knew we were going to have a good season before, but now with a disrespected Jalen Hurts, should be among the most feared QBs in the NFL. We've seen how well Jalen Hurts plays when he's counted out. We saw that during his time in Alabama, being benched after his poor first half during the championship game, his second season for Tua, who leads him to a win. Right after that, he was counted out from ever being able to step foot on the field as an Alabama quarterback ever again. The media swore Hurts was done in Tuscaloosa. He comes back the next season. Tua goes down in the championship game the following season. He comes in, leads the Tide to a comeback win, trailing from behind. He comes back and wins the game for the squad. The next year, he transfers to Oklahoma, has a Heisman finalist worthy year. So a disrespected Jalen Hurts is something that the league should fear. And with this Eagles team that we have, a disrespected Jalen Hurts, a disrespected Saquon Barkley, a paid Devontae Smith, a paid A.J. Brown, a reinforced defense, and a newly improved coaching staff, the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl this year. I'm confident. I was positive before, but now I'm confident. Jalen Hurts is feeling disrespected. He's one of the best clutch quarterbacks in the league. He's a quarterback that will win you a game as opposed to Dak Prescott. So you all did the Eagles a favor. The last thing they needed was more motivation. Jalen Hurts being unfairly criticized for the collapse last season when he was really a victim of poor coaching. I really can't wait because I'm confident with the way things are looking now. Jalen Hurts being motivated, a motivated Saquon Barkley, a fresh defense, a newly reinforced defense. The Eagles are going to go back to the Super Bowl and win it this year for sure. But that's all we got for today's edition of No Shame with Shane. If you haven't already, be sure to support us on social media. Give us a like, follow, subscribe on our Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Be sure to let us know what you thought about today's takes in the comments. But for now, that is a wrap. And I will be back next week with more shameless takes.